In the past year or so, I've turned 3 pieces of olive wood. This was the first piece I turned. Isn't that beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. I love everything about it. Then I turned this piece of olive wood. It's nice. Came from the very same piece of wood as that first one I showed you. That was one large piece of wood that I cut up into 3 parts. This is the second part. So that made me intimidated to turn the third piece. Well, fortunately it turned out much like the first piece. Just beautiful. Just gorgeous. So today I have this very heavy, very angry, very ugly looking piece of olive wood. There's nothing pretty about what we're looking at right now, I can tell you. It's uncomfortable to hold, it's sharp, it's hard, it's heavy, it's just kind of nasty. So what are we gonna get? I don't know. I know what I'm hoping for, but who knows what we're gonna get. And it's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be an end grain turning. I'm gonna mount a faceplate ring right here in the center somewhere. That hole right there goes back in there about 3/4 of an inch. And there's another hole right there that goes back in almost 3 inches. So we're going to have a hole in the side of this bowl, and I'm not going to fill it. I'm not going to make any attempt to keep anything that we're looking at. That might change as we go along. Kind of looks like a pig that way, doesn't it? You got your eye here and your eye over here and your pig nose right there, pig snout. Anyway, I'm not going to make any attempt to keep any of that until we get into it, and then I can see better if, if I don't turn anymore, then we can keep that sort of thing. Something I just don't know. I'm telling you, this is heavy, and it's dry, 4% moisture content. This is going to be a very difficult turning. I very well may have to resort to carbide for some of this, just to keep from sharpening every minute and a half. It is from Las Vegas, so it's got some sand in it, and that's pretty hard on the tool. So this is what we're turning today. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Wood Shop. Howdy! Dan from Las Vegas brought me some olive wood last year. I'll tell you what, Dan is a great guy, very kind man, very hard-working, big, strapping, strong man. He unloaded all of this olive wood. He wouldn't let me help. One of the pieces weighs well over 100 pounds. He just picked that sucker right up out of the bed of his truck and set it in my trailer out here. Big guy, nice guy. We're gonna see what we can do with this. I'm gonna mount that faceplate ring in the center there. We'll get it over here to the lathe, get it mounted up, and try to tackle this son of a gun. Not everyone knows about faceplate rings, so I'll just spend a second here and explain it. It's just like a faceplate, but it's just a ring. And it has a dovetail recess on the inside of this lip right here, which meshes with the outside dovetail I have on my chuck jaws. So I'll just put that over there and then expand the jaws into that dovetail, and that makes for a nice strong hold. I can see already this piece is going to be way out of balance for a while. Now I chose this orientation because this side of the bowl falls off towards the bottom. It's sloped up, and I can't put wood back there, so on this side it's the opposite of that. So all of this will be cut away. What I'm thinking is just a round bowl. I'm hoping for the grain to be spectacular and let that be the star of the show rather than any kind of shape that I might come up with. So yes, it is way out of balance. See what kind of speed we can get. I'll bet it's not much. About 410 RPM. I'll be using a 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask, and face shield on. Time to sharpen up. Getting nowhere with that technique. I'm going to, just for a change of pace, I'm going to shift to the bottom and flatten that off. I'm going to have to go up a little bit higher. You can see how far off center of the bottom. I'm centered on the top, but off center of the bottom that I am. So I need to come up here where it's a little bit wider. Well, I just went and sharpened again before I started working on the bottom here. That's twice in 5 minutes. So I think I might switch to carbide for a while just to kind of get this rounded up and in some sort of condition to work on. I hate to do it to you. I hate to do it to me. I'm going to try this radius square cutter that I have. Well, I think I'm seeing pretty in there. Hard to tell. I'm seeing lots and lots and lots of cracks, huh? But they're kind of attractive. Yeah, I'm stalling. You're on to me. I'm going to work on this corner. I'm also going to put a glove on because that's going to hurt. It comes off of there at an angle and it just digs right into your skin. Okay, we're getting more on center. That's probably just about close enough. You know, I think I was really making better progress with my high-speed steel gouge. I'm going to go sharpen up. See if I can pick the speed up any. Well, almost 600 RPM. For whatever that's worth. Now see, this is what I mean about I wasn't going to try and save anything unless once I got there I could tell that I had enough of a shape that I could still maintain some of the nature. So that's the case right here. Everything else is round until we get right here, and maybe we'll want to save that. That just happens to be where that big hole is. Not the real deep hole, but the big hole. So maybe we'll save some of that. I don't know yet. I don't have it rounded up. Well, you know, again, maybe we can save some of this up here too. That would be cool. I didn't expect to be able to, but maybe. Before I moved you over here, I cut that little nub off at the bottom, so I've got a flat bottom right now, so I can start over on that. See, this is what I'm talking about, all this nature in here. I'd like to save that. It's not what I planned on doing. I planned on taking advantage just of the beautiful grain that olive wood has, but I just can't help myself. I just have to keep some of this. Now I'll sand it and finish it, of course, but I want to leave it like it is. So I think not like it is. I need to I need to use my scraper on the outside here to see if I can't smooth it up some. It's not very good yet. Or I don't know, maybe I can do it with my gouge. Anyway, I just wanted you to see what I'm talking about. And this wonderful knot. Oh my gosh, that's beautiful. And that knot hole. Oh, I'll try scraping it, see how that does. If not, then I'll use my gouge. Yeah, okay. Well, on further inspection, it's not as good as I hoped. I've still got a ridge right here, and I've got a bump right here. So I'm going to try shear scraping. All right, now we can sand it. Oh, except we got to do a tenon, don't we? Okay, that'll be the size of our tenon. I'm going to use a 3/8 inch gouge to make that tenon. And I think we're about there. Time for sanding. I'm starting at 80 grit. I'll work up through at least 400. And I'll bring you back here in a bit and we'll put some sanding sealer on there. See you in a bit. Here we go. I'm counting on you, and you're not disappointing. The sanding sealer is called Zinsser Seal Coat. It's shellac based, and I will use Zinsser shellac over this. And I'll put 2 coats of this on, and then 2 coats of shellac. And I'll use a brush to get into some of the areas. So I'll get this taken care of and I'll bring you back and we'll start working on the inside. See you in a bit. I've turned the piece around with the tenon mounted up in the chuck. I've sharpened my 5/8 inch bowl gouge. We're going to be turning at 680 RPM, 5/8 inch bowl gouge, mask and face shield on. Well, surprise, surprise, I am getting somewhere. I have not determined the bowl thickness yet. I want to see it's real thick here, it's not so thick here. This is probably about right. I can't get it all down to this size because that's not the way the bowl is shaped.
quite thin over here really. Well, 1/4 inch. And it's got these cracks in it, so I just might not be able to get it so thin. I was hoping for thinner. And yes, my gouge is dull already. Because this is end grain, it's, oh my, that's a big crack. Typically you want to go from the inside and work your way out with end grain. Oh, there's a big knot in there too. I'm pushing pretty hard, a lot harder than I normally would. But I thought I'd try it coming from the outside in, and it's not comfortable. It's not a good idea. And working around this tailstock is not any fun either, I can tell you. I hope those cracks don't cause an issue. Well, I'm going to have to, I can't get a good angle here because of the tailstock, and I hate to remove it, but... Well, I'm going to remove the tailstock, but before I do, I want to clean up this top edge while I still have the support of the remaining material inside here, just in case I get a catch on one of these cracks and it blows apart. So that's what I'm going to do. Well, I feel better not having to see that massive crack in the part that was sticking out here. There's still plenty of cracks, but I don't have to look at that one. Man, I'll tell you what, I've turned harder wood, but I don't know if I've ever turned, well, this is difficult. That's just all I can say. That huge knot down there, man, that is hard. I mean, the rest of it's hard. I can't believe I've even gotten this far, but I have. I'm gonna try scraping it. Well, you know, I think I can sand the rest of that. It's so much better than it was. I'm going to start with an 80 grit 2-inch disc with the lathe spinning forward at about 350 RPM as soon as I get my mask on. Then I can also spin it in reverse And that looks like that's going to be easy peasy. I'll do that up through 400 grit and I'll bring you back in a bit. We'll put some sanding sealer in there. See you in a bit. I just love all these cracks back here in this knot. Looks like a spider web. Well, the nice thing about hardwood like this is it sands up so nicely. You'd think maybe it would be difficult to sand, and it is, but it's so worth it because it's so smooth. So this is sanding sealer. I think I mentioned before it's Zinsser Seal Coat, and I'll put on 2 coats just like I did the outside, and then 2 coats of shellac, and then I'll bring you back and we'll take that tenon off of there. Okay, see you in a bit. The piece finished up just beautifully. I can't wait for you to see it. I've mounted a block of wood up in my chuck. I'm going to place the bowl over that and bring up my tailstock. This piece is still quite heavy. I still have my center hole there for reference. I can barely even lift this thing into place. So I'll just drive my live center into that, and that'll help center it on that block of wood. Bring up my tool rest. Now I don't have to remove this whole tenon. It's already below the base that it's going to sit on, and I like to leave a little bit of this raised up if I can. We'll spin the piece up, see if it's running true, and it is. Apply a little more pressure, turn the speed up to about 550. I'm going to use a 1/2 inch standard grind bowl gouge and commence to removing that tenon. Now I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch gouge and get in here a little closer. Just keep working it away. And that's getting pretty small, so I'm going to get even closer and raise my tool rest up as much as I can. And I'm going to switch to a 3/8 inch swept back bowl gouge. I'm going to turn the speed down to about 400 RPM. Now that's quite small, so I'm going to turn the speed down to 200 RPM, and I'm going to apply the bevel of the gouge against the bottom of the bowl. Lots of pressure towards the headstock because, like I said, it's very heavy. Nothing holding it there but the gouge once I make the cut through. Right hand on the gouge, left hand on the switch, and it broke off. Dang it. Sometimes that happens, especially with end grain. I'll just take this over to the workbench, sand it up, sign it, get it finished, and I'll be right back. I'm sure I let you know how difficult this piece was. It was hard. It was just hard. It was difficult. It wasn't a lot of fun, I gotta say, but I sure do like the finished piece. You see the face in there? Kind of an angry face, just like this bowl is, or was. We tamed it now. Lots of stuff to look at and feel. Lots of cracks. Just lots of cracks. And I think that's a wire mark. I don't know if this was part of a fence or
whatever, but I think a piece of wire rubbed on there for a while. And I like that. There's the inside. Gotta love that big spider web knot down in there. There's the bottom all finished up. I called it ornery olive. And can you see the tool mark? I'm not sure it'll show up. It's right below my name. I signed right by it. I left it on purpose. I could have sanded it off. It's just below my name there. You can probably see it. I'm not sure if that happened when the tenon broke off, the little nub broke off, or if I did it and didn't have a chance to remove it. I don't know. Anyway, it's there. And I left it intentionally to remind me what a difficult piece this was. But that's the only tool mark you'll find on the piece. It's quite nice, quite smooth. It feels so good compared to what it used to feel like. Oh my gosh. It was just angry. It was mad at the world. But it's done, and I'm glad. I hope you like it as much as I do. Thank you, Dan in Las Vegas, for bringing this up to me for all to enjoy. If you like this video, thumbs up please. I'd sure appreciate it. If you're a subscriber, that is totally cool. Thank you so much for that. If you want to share this video around, that would be very helpful, and I'd really love it. Thank you. If you're not a subscriber, you might consider becoming one. I put out regular videos about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. An easy way to subscribe is just click my picture you see there near the end of the video. Your comments are always welcome, and I read all of them. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.